Hello everyone, welcome back to the Homeworld Let's Play. Last time we went to a supernova research station and destroyed it, seemingly just to do so. I guess we just felt like blowing up something. But this time we're going to be doing something a little bit more meaningful.
We have intercepted a coded Tidan transmission.
You have failed to keep the exiles from penetrating the outer perimeter. This could be disastrous. You will find and destroy them immediately. Our spies believe that the Bentusi have interfered. They must not be allowed to bring this matter to the Council and gain support for the exiles.
Hyperdrive disengaged. The Bentusi are here. They're in distress.
The Bentusi must be protected. Draw the Tidan fleet away and destroy them.
Okay, so there's no time to waste in this mission. In fact, you should probably be sending your fleet to go help the Bentusi before the dialogue even finishes. There is the ship will get wasted really quickly, and you can't wait to gather your ships up properly before you head on over there. You have to like start sending ships immediately. Fortunately, I guess once you get into range, the enemy ships will actually turn to start fighting you instead of attacking the Bentusi anymore. So once you get over there, you kind of put a pause on them losing life. So really the big struggle here is just to make sure that you get over there quick enough. Unfortunately, the force that they have attacking the Bentusi is incredibly strong, and they will be able to take out a few of your ships fairly easily. But, I mean, hey, the Bentusi have been helping us quite a bit thus far, so I guess you can lose a couple of ships to help save their lives. Also, to continue my theme of salvaging everything in sight, you can destroy most of the enemy fleet because it's just a lot of damage and it's kind of hard to survive all of that damage, but I would definitely save the heavy cruiser for salvaging, just so you have another one to go with the one from the research station mission if you grab that one, because having multiple heavy cruisers is incredibly helpful. Anyway, after you save them in Bentusi, they decide to finally reveal to you the full truth about how your people actually arrived in Kharak in the first place.
For the first time in memory, the Bentusi are in the debt of another. It has been forbidden to possess this information for some time, but after your intervention on our behalf, we feel compelled to share it with you. Behold, in the first time, a terrible war brought with it the collapse of your ancient empire. So vicious were your enemies that all would have been slaughtered were it not for the collective outcry for mercy. In an effort to soothe relations, the conquerors spared the lives of the defeated. All survivors were sent into exile. None were permitted to follow or aid the fallen. All memory of them was to be erased. For generations, the convoy moved silently through space. They endured great difficulties. Imperfect technology. In time, a suitable system to receive them was found. This barren world appeared to be salvation. Their true legacy forgotten, a new vision of destiny had grown out of captivity. A single artifact survived the journey. The guide stone you now carry. It was removed from the sacred angel moon of your homeworld, a place long since reduced to myth and tale. Your progress is becoming known among the inner rim worlds and elsewhere. Many cultures have prophesized your return. Reach your home world. Establish your claim. We will summon the council.
Engage hyperdrive.
So as it turns out, the truth is actually that your people were kind of forced into a kind of a Trail of Tears type march after their empire was overthrown, where it's basically a death sentence actually, but they end up actually finding some uninhabited world that could at least a little bit support life. And they kind of say that, but it's something I want to focus on because it kind of strikes out to me is the fact that when you're on the your people were on these ships, they were on these ships for generations, which means there were whole groups of people who were born, grew up, and died, never having left the ship that they were born on. And while these ships are probably fairly large and large as very big cities, and probably housed hundreds of thousands of people per ship, it's kind of insane. Like, I would imagine you would still have to get some kind of cabin fever or like claustrophobia, I guess. I don't know. From the fact that you're like on a ship that you've never left, that you never will leave, and you couldn't go somewhere else even if you wanted to. Like, I know the ship would be big, so you could go on trips within the ship itself, but still, like, the fact that you can't leave, and the fact that since they're on this ship and these ships were getting old and probably required constant maintenance just to not break down and kill everyone on the ship, like, their lives would have had to have revolved around fixing the ship and making sure the ship was okay, and that would have been like it. Like, that probably would have been what the vast majority of everyone had to spend their lives doing, was making sure the ship was okay. And I don't know, it seems like a really, really miserable existence. So I guess by the time that they got to Kharak, even though it was kind of a desert planet that didn't have a lot going for it, I guess something is better than nothing. But the end result of all this is, if you didn't think you had enough reason to dislike the Titan before, then you definitely have more reasons now. Because, yeah, the Empire back then was, you know, this has been hundreds of years, I guess. So the people who did that back then are dead and gone, and the Empire that exiled your people are no longer the same Empire. However, the current Empire did still completely wipe out your entire planet's civilization, because basically they were scared of you guys showing up and trying to retake your empire, even though you have no no military and no knowledge that the empire was even yours in the first place. However, I don't know, I guess they have all this power, and the fear of losing that power drove them to do some fairly extreme things. But in reality, an empire is not a single entity. An empire is built up of groups of people who are within the empire, and I mean, everybody in the empire can't really be bad, right? Like, there has to at least be some good people. And with that in mind, we'll find out the answer to that question in the next mission. And I will see you all next time in the Galactic Core.